today is all about risk, resilience, and redefining retail. I am so excited today. We are with Ashley Guy. And so myself, Ashley Scott, and my co-host.
Hey everybody, Torrey Ford. We are here talking to Miss Ashley about Tallulah, the powerhouse behind Tallahassee, the innovator, the space disruptor that we have here. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
Allowing us to be in your space, one of your non-spaces at that, correct? Mm-hmm. Ashley, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you even got started within the industry.
Yeah, so I was a mom about 5.5 years ago. I had moved here from Seattle. I was a teacher before. I didn't really feel like teaching again. I was like, what else can I do? Right. You make pretty good money as a teacher in Seattle, so I just was like, what else can I do? And I had no debt. I had no money, but my grandmother had just passed away, and she left her house in Seattle 10 ways through, kids and then grandkids. So I had like $40,000. And I thought, I am rich. Wow. I have so much money. I have no debt. I have so much money to start a business. Now, when I open a new store, it's $250,000 for a new store. But back then I didn't know anything. So I get the money from my grandma. I started using CBD. I enjoyed using CBD because it helped me relax. I'm hyperactive. It helped with my joint pain. When I was a teacher, I had a lot of arthritis pain in my hands. So I was just like, wow, CBD. I was thinking of opening a juice bar in the beginning. So I called it Tallulah Juice Bar because in Seattle, there were a lot of juice bars. I thought I can do that. But then I'm really good at following my gut. And I just started to venture more toward the CBD route. Even though my mentor at the time, he was like, don't do CBD. It has a bad connotation. Like, you don't want to go that route.
So let's take you back to store number one, right? Your thought process behind, like you mentioned about your journey to opening. What was the biggest misconception that you had to break through when opening this category in this space to the public?
Yeah. So ever since I opened, people have been just confused about different things. And same with it just reminds me a lot of the Love Shop. Now, like, it's like a repeat. You open a Love Shop and there's a lot of misconceptions about that. It was the same thing.
So interesting you said that, Ashley. Like, on my way in, I literally was able to talk to one of your clients or your customers. And I said, well, what is it that you have today? And he's like, oh, I have this. And I'm like, well, what does that product do for you? And he was just sharing how him utilizing these specific products alleviates him from having to use a lot of prescriptions. That would have created other side effects for him. So he was sharing with me that this was a natural, like more of a natural resource as opposed to a harsh product. And I say that as well as speaking about him, right? 70% of your customers are males. Can you tell us a little bit about how you were able to, like, as a woman in the female industry, like, how were you able to do that?
Yeah. So men want to be recognized. In our culture, you don't really give a man a compliment. Like, I'm not going up to the guy and like, hey, hey, what's up, man? Cool hat. Right. It's the other way around. So at Tallulah, most of our customers are men. They're coming in every week to try something new, to have fun. It's kind of like in England. All the guys are hitting up the pubs, right? If you've been to England, they're going to their pub on their corner every week just to have that community. So the guys here in Tallahassee tend to just come into the store and they're like, yeah, I'm ready for a good time. I'm going to try this. And I have my customer at each of our stores. The top 10% of customers in the system are VIP status, so they get an extra discount. So we're like, hey, John, you're VIP. Yeah, welcome back. Good to see you, man. How you been? And we have like a relationship with them, a professional relationship where they feel good, like they feel good coming in, and you can't do that. Where else in town does a man get that?
Right. And viewers, if you're just now tuning in, we're sitting here with Ashley from Tallulah, and what she said was, I'm going to challenge the people that's viewing. Everybody needs to be in the top 10% to get that 10% discount. So, wow. Yeah, VIP right now. One thing that I did admire earlier today, just sitting around, just observing like I usually do, the relationships that you have with your customers. That means a lot because you have 9 stores now. And for you to know each customer to come in and you say, oh, that's a regular.
I mean,
hey, how you doing today? That's
literally,
like,
she
Yeah, it's
was
good.
like,
Yeah, it's good.
name,
Right,
Torrey,
exactly,
and she's
right.
like, hey, I'm back this week. And I
And-
mean, it wasn't just, it was all like,
Mhm.
all backgrounds, all cultures.
Everybody.
It's like
Yeah, everybody.
like a melting
Yep.
pot. And
Yep.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that goes into my next question about your I hate to use this word cult, but your cult following that only shops here, goes from store to store. How do you scale your success from where you are to where you're going to where you are now? Just for the viewers that's looking at it now, what type of roadmap? And I know everybody's roadmap is different, right? But what kind of advice can you give somebody to scale to a magnitude?
I love talking about this because my motto is go big or go home. Don't waste your time.
Right.
If you're going to do something, do it well. Don't just do a million little things and be like, I'm doing this. Do it well. So as soon as I came in here on Tallulah, I went big. I spent way too much on advertising. Way too much. Every penny I put back into it. And then everybody told me to you're just a mom. You don't know what you're doing. You haven't studied business. You didn't go to school for business. You're just not good at this stuff. But I didn't care. I just do what I want to do. So, what really propelled me on was just looking at the smoke shop space. Like if you look at the competitors in town, they'll have like 10 to 30 stores. And I just thought like, why can't I do that? Why not me? So it wasn't like me in terms of
Full of the zip codes that are in the area and kind of narrow it down. So how were you able to, and I'm learning about that target market, geofencing and all of that great stuff. So how were you able to narrow down which areas? Is it just according to where the store location is in a certain mile radius? How did you even begin to like put that part together?
So it's really fun. I pull a lot of lists. So I have $1 million list.
Yes.
Who are my most richest people in all of Tallahassee? You're going to get a mailer from Tallulah, and you're going to keep getting mailers. You get one millionaire in here, and they keep spending. You're paying for your mailers.
Okay.
So I bought a list. You're buying a list for CBD users. They have lists for everything. Who are you targeting? Then you're doing lists around your Valentine's Day, around St. Patrick's Day, around 420. You're doing lists around your stores to try to hit that target market. You're just trying to find out who you want to hit, and you're doing it well. I mean, social media is great and all. We haven't really done much with social media just because we get flagged a lot, and they're anti-drug right now, which is fine. They don't want anything targeted at kids, so we really don't do that. But we do billboards. We rock the billboards. It's really expensive, and then the mailers. And just that's what I've done, the magazines, things. So that seems to be really working for us. And just word of mouth has been good in Tallahassee. Word of mouth is great in Tallahassee. If I had opened in Seattle or Jacksonville, the word of mouth is not as big as in Tallahassee. You get one good customer here and they're going to tell 5 friends and they're going to come in and it's great. So word of mouth is really great. Treating the people who come in well so they spread it. And then they're like, okay, wow, I tried this gummy. You got to try this. John, his friend, you got to
40,000, 7 point something million. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you find the creative financing to get that $10,000 sign? Like what we were talking about, having liquid cash and having money available and women, and then how do we, navigate that space? How did you prioritize those expenses so that you would still have access to that capital when you needed it?
Yeah, I just found the money. I don't do loans. I don't do banks. I don't have any private investors. I have a whole lot of money on the American Express. And in the beginning, I had like $20,000 on my American Express. And I thought, oh my God, I'm like so poor. I'm so broke. Now I have about $250,000 on my Amex card, but I know it's going to pay down because when you open up a new store, are you going to take out a loan to open a new store? And they don't even want to give loans out in my market anyway. I don't want a line of credit. I just use the card and then I pay it off quickly as soon as I can. And I have all the power. I'm not wasting time going around applying for loans or doing all that or trying to get people to buy into the company. I'm not doing that. And then at the end of the day, who's taking in all the revenue? It's me. And I'm paying off the card. And that's just how I did it. Might not be the way that everybody wants to do it. They don't feel comfortable having that credit card debt, but that's what works for me.
Yeah. I think it's so unique. You know, as business owners, we all have to go through licensing or state and federal regulations, and then we never know who's going to be in office, how that's going to affect change and what we have, but we always have to pivot or come up with something new. Torrey, what we were having a conversation earlier. What is your perspective? You had a question for Ashley.
I did. So the question I had about your space specifically is what's next, right? Like what? I'm not letting the cat out the bag because we don't want too many people into the game. Your vision, it sounds like growth because number 1 to number 9, that's big, right? 1 to 2, 1 to 3, but we're talking 9, right?
In five years.
And exactly 5 years. So that's almost 2 a year, right? So like what is your vision for what's next for you as an individual, for your brand?
Yeah, so at year 5, I felt even more energized than ever. I'm just busy and I'm white labeling my own products, selling our own Tallulah products. We know what works for customers, so we've already had some success doing that this year. So the same products we're selling, we're making them ourselves through our contacts. And doing it really well at a really competitive price. I'm also selling online, getting online. We haven't done that before, which is incredible because we hit the Inc. 5000 list in 2024. So if anybody doesn't know about the Inc. 5000 list, it's the top 5,000 fastest growing companies in the United States. And we actually beat Kim Kardashian's Skims by over 500 spots. So she was ranked, 1,000 and we were 505. So they take like a spread. The year was 2020 through the next 3 years, and they see how small you started and then how much revenue you increased. So we made that list, and that's even in the retail space. So we're considered a retail company, so it's really, really hard to do retail. So to make the Inc. 5000 list, most of the companies are selling online only. They don't have stores, retail. So we actually ranked 12th in the nation in retail on the Inc. 5000 list. And we're not even selling online yet. So this year we're selling online, doing our own products. And then I also want to open more love shops.
How most times when you start a business, it's not actually start other needs, other barriers, other ways to not just generate revenue, but to create space for people who are.
I also do pretty much everything myself still, which is rare because I want to save money to have more money to put back into the business. So the more I can do myself, the marketing, the scheduling, the hiring, the onboarding, I do most of it. I do all the product ordering. I do all that so I can have the money for that to reinvest. But I just make it work. I love really think of it. I didn't think I would be a business owner. I thought I would be a teacher. I didn't grow up. No one in my family has ever done business. They worked in government and different things. So I just didn't think I would be here. So I just feel really lucky. Like this is my one shot. I see a lot of entrepreneurs too who think they have a million shots. They're like, I'm going to try this and see if it sticks. I'm going to try this and all these little things. When I opened Tallulah, like this was my one shot. I sunk everything into this and I'm like, this is all I do. And still, sometimes people can start to do other things or get bored, but I'm still so focused on this. This is my baby. This is my one shot at business. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And the saying is, be great at one thing and good at a few, right? So you have your foundation of Tallulah, but you're growing and expanding other different things that always fund back to Tallulah.
Exactly. It's so important. Yeah, and I do talk to a business coach every week. I've been talking to her for 4 years. I don't know her. I don't see her. She was actually a former movie star, but I found her online in Colorado at a kick-ass firm. She has since ventured off to be only a business coach online, but I don't see her. We just talk on the phone every week, and I talk to her, and it really helps me stay focused and grounded, and just the conversations we have make me remember where I was 3 years ago. So that really helps as well to have somebody to talk to every week who you don't know, who's not your mom, who's not your friend, not your partner. You don't see them around town. They're not judging you. She can't judge me. I'm only talking and we're not friends. She's my coach. So if I tell her like I'm in a really low point, I can tell her anything, and it's confidential. And she's not a therapist too. She's like on the business coaching side. So that's really been a game changer. In the beginning, like it's like, $150 to talk to her an hour, but I was like, I can't afford this way back then, but I have to afford this. Like this really helps. And she just like listens, and she does give me really good feedback. It's like having a second set of eyes on things. So I would encourage everybody to have some kind of coach that they talk to every single week for an hour. It really helps.
Talking about encouragement, right? What type of advice will you give a new business owner who's viewing this right now? What would you tell them to do?
So I do a lot of self-talk. There's nobody, I'm not working to show off to anybody. When I'm at home, like last night, it's Sunday night. I did hiring and scheduling up until 11:30.
Okay.
And I was doing it for myself. I'm doing it because I want to do the business. I'm not, it's internally driven.
Yes.
So I'm excited about growing the business internally. And I give you have really hard days, all sorts of things are thrown at you. Mm-hmm. I just keep talking up myself. You can do it. Let's go. Let's move. Let's do this. And then it just comes down to me. So you sit with yourself at the end of the day, and you just really have to sit. As a business owner, you're isolated.
Get to a certain point with our funds. Do we just go out there and buy more materials for our own selves or things for our own selves? Should we save that money? Should we invest it? Like, what do you do and why?
Yeah, I wish I had more cash throughout my life. Since at a young age, I would always do beauty things, buy clothes, do all the things that people do. But right now, cash is king, and sitting with cash is very important. It's powerful. It's really hard to start a business. I hear a lot of stories of people who have these great ideas, but they have a lot of debt, but they have all these hurdles. They have no cash on hand, and then they're looking for investors. So if you just live your life saving money and living frugally, when an opportunity comes, you'll be better positioned to pounce on that. So okay. I would just say, especially as a female, instead of like going out and spending all your money to look good, maybe just save and get ready. Be ready for your next move and save that cash. I don't invest a lot. I don't have any savings at the moment, but I do have a lot of cash on hand for moves. I always keep cash because you really, and you need to make payroll every week. You need to be able to pay your bills. So you got to have a lot of cash on hand. So I sit with the credit card debt, but I also hold a lot of cash that I don't use to pay off the card, which is smart too. So, yes. So yeah.